is because they are women and they are alone outside of the house without their men.
We were just blown away, so we made a point to come back. Bit of a homophobic comment that was made in front of us.
So we have arrived at Glyphala Beach and it's really nice. I like how a lot of the beaches here are right next to the forest, all the trees and woodsy areas. A tip for if you're coming to the beach, coming to one of the islands in Greece, come earlier in the summer because here you'll have way less people at the beach. It's not going to be as hot. It's going to be a lot more enjoyable.
But hot enough, like we're sweating
right now. Yeah, but hot
now.
enough where you want to be in the water.
And with that being said, we're gonna take a dip in the water because we've been sweating in the car and it's only the end of May and it's currently 85 degrees. Actually, walking through the little streets and alleys in this town, it reminds me a lot of Naples.
Yeah.
So they're wearing the traditional clothes of the area. So right now it feels a lot like Plaka, a little historic neighborhood of Athens. Okay, I also have to say this is our second time here. This was the first meal we had when we came to Corfu and we were just blown away, so we made a point to come back and I think we may have to come one more time before we leave. What really has impressed me with their souvlaki gyro and their pork gyro, how good the meat looks. Usually like it's just like layers and layers and layers of like such questionable quality chicken. You can taste it too, like, and the combinations of all the flavors are amazing. I wish there was a place like that where we live in Athens, but maybe there is and we haven't discovered it, but they wouldn't have the sauce because it's local to the area.
Here in Corfu, you can tell that they cook with a lot of spices. So it's like a cinnamon, onion, tomato, garlic blend, and I think most places we've been, there's a handful of dishes that have that base of a sauce incorporated into their food. Oh my god, I'm so hungry. Okay, I'm gonna take a bite. And I like the bread a lot here, and they definitely put oil on it when they're cooking the bread. And normally I haven't been that big of a fan of tzatziki, but I like this one a lot. It's like super soft. Kali oryx. Delicious. So today in Corfu, we have found ourselves pretty much at what I would call my heaven on earth. You will see why later.
So we're at the Pontiglio Winery, family-owned winery created out of passion. And today we're going to be touring the whole production line. We're going to be learning about how wine is made step by step. And later on, we'll be doing some wine tasting where we're going to be taught how to taste wine like pros and what to look for in a wine.
And if you know us, we love our wine. Now we will actually know how to taste it.
Okay, without further ado, let's go inside, meet with our host, Kostadina, where she'll be doing the tour. Let's do it.
We are cultivating only local varieties of grapes, so we don't have any international grape. The name of them are Kakotryggis and Skopelitico. will not probably remember the names, but don't worry. Here is the first area of the winery. This is the traditional one. They were putting inside the grapes, they were pressing them with the feet, and then they were empty it with baskets and put it in here and press it. We don't use this one, we use the machine. That is separating grapes from stems, and this is the traditional pressers. Like that. They are working manually. This one is in public. We bring the grapes in here, the juices start running. We collect the juice in here and we connect it with a pipe and we send it naturally downstairs, that is the production. In this way, we make around 60,000 liters of wine.
Wow!
We start at 4 a.m. harvesting. We are going inside the vineyards with torches, and this is in order to take the grapes as cool as we can, because in the summer it's really hot.
Ooh, it's nice and cool in here.
Oh yeah.
Let's go first downstairs.
Oh, I've never seen stairs like this before.
This is awesome.
We keep them here for a day and then we start doing the wine process. So what is actually the wine process now? When you take the juice of the grapes, this juice is obviously sweet, okay? This sugar that contains inside the juice, we're transforming this sugar into alcohol. This is coming with the fermentation process. In general, let's say that it will be more easy for us to take some international varieties, that they are, everything is ready, they know every detail about the variety and do a vinification really easy. These varieties, most of them, like the red one, has never been vinificated before, so that means that we need to learn the variety slowly. We filter the wine we store in the 2 tanks and we start bottling. We connect this with the tanks. One is sitting in here and is filling the bottles. And then the second one is sitting in here and is corking. And probably the worst one, labeling.
Oh, yeah.
After we learned a little more about each wine, it was finally time to taste them. Well, first play with some kitties and then get to the wine tasting.
All together. That's why they are smaller than it should be.
I'm not leaving. I'm ready to stay here. Kittens, wine, beautiful place.
So, 3 rules. Eyes, nose, mouth. Eyes for the color. Then they do this thing, they turn it. Allow the wine to breathe a little bit. And then, in order to detect the body of the wine. Then, body, smell. And then on the taste. You just take a small sip. Turn it around in all of your mouth, especially under the tongue. Under the tongue are the most sensitive sensors of the mouth, so there is the whole taste. You have, while you have it in your mouth, to breathe a little bit in order to put a bit of oxygen.
Llamas. Oh, did I exhale? I think I did. I didn't? It's good.
That's nice.
Ευχαριστούμε.
Το πορτοκάλι, εδώ στην Κέρκυρα φτιάχνουμε μία σαλάτα, την ερατζοσαλάτα, που είναι πορτοκάλι, το κόβουμε χοντρές φέτες και βάζουμε χοντρό αλάτι, κόκκινο πιπέρι και λάδι. Αυτό το παίρνανε παλιά και στα αμπέλια. Το βάζανε σε ένα μπολ και όταν ήταν η ώρα που θα ξεκουραζόντουσαν, και τώρα το προσφέρουν και στα καλύτερα μαγαζιά της Κέρκυρας, την ερατζοσαλάτα.
Forks are so cute.
I know. Look at the forks.
They are wearing the traditional uniform. This scarf is not only to protect from the sun, it's for shame as well. It's because they are women and they are alone outside of the house without their men.
That's a big scarf.
Yes,
too.
and
That's
they have to be covered.
Wow.
So we are conservative. Yeah. Imagine that this is like 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and we are still conservative. And we are, if you live in Greece, you know, we are a man-controlling country. It is different if you are a man and if you are a woman. Obviously, it has to do with the family that you grow up, because I have not these kind of problems, but there are a lot of things. In 2016 we did a traditional harvest with some people in the village, but they helped us. Corfu used to be traditionally a winemaking area. It used to be around 13 different varieties of grapes, but around 70s and 80s people started working with tourists, and they left the vineyards because it was a hard job and they wanted to do something easier, or they were sending their children to study in order to go away from this hard job. So around 80s, government. Our clever government that is always there for us came and said, okay, you want to work with tourists, okay, are not able to do harvests anymore, so we will give you money in order to take out all of your vineyards and put olive trees instead, because you can do olive picking in November, that there is no tourists anymore. So we've got both. We've got tourists and olive picking agriculture. So people did it, obviously. So that has a result that we used to have 13 different varieties of grapes, and at this point we've got only 4.
Has it completely disappeared now?
Completely disappeared. I think that we will not be able to find them anymore. We found the 4th one some years ago. We tried to multiply it, vinificate it, and see what is going to happen, but this is gonna take years and years.
Oh, hello there. Don't mind me. I'm just stomping on some grapes the old-fashioned way, and I'm hoping I'll find some likes. Maybe you can help me out. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already. It helps us out so much. Back to the video. Okay, we finished our wine tasting. It was really, really nice. You can tell like how good of quality and the love and passion they put in that. It makes you want to drink it even more. We just finished a lunch that was terrible for multiple reasons. So we tell them. There was a bit of a homophobic comment that was made in front of us from the waiter, but not towards us because he didn't know.
That's towards everyone.
But it was towards everyone, and Olivia was like, "What'd you just say?" And then he was like too embarrassed to repeat it. And he's like, "What did you just say?" And then eventually he said it. He was telling us about his travels to the US and how he was in San Francisco. I'll try to do it exactly how he did it. Very nice, but a lot of queers. Like.
And this was after him making pretty derogatory comments towards women too.
Yeah, the thing is, he doesn't even know it's derogatory, not that that's right. Greece is a very patriarchal country. It's getting better, but parts of Greece are still very, a bit sexist. So then he was like, well, we're queer, and
I said we're the queers.
You should watch out what you say in front of your customers because you don't know who you're serving. And then the guy, became so red, and you can tell he kind of was a loss for words. He was like, oh, nothing wrong with that. And then he tried, and then it was just such an awkward, he tried to change the conversation, and then the rest of the time, it was like nothing happened. But he stopped making the comments about the beautiful girls and telling Olivia to smile, and why are you not smiling? Be happy. Anyway, so now we're going to explore the Old Town because yesterday we tried to do that, but then everything got dark really fast. Let's go drive. We are currently standing right across from the old fortress, and it was built in the 15th century by the Venetian Republic that occupied the island. And from what we can see, it's actually almost its own island. Of course, this was completed in the 15th century from the Venetians. However, there was a fortress back in ancient days. So this island was inhabited, and it's mentioned in the Odyssey. It's part of the Argonaut story, and there's traces of fortress around the island from the 6th century. but it is believed that once the Gothi came down, where it's believed they came from the southern Scandinavian states, they destroyed some of it, and then like it had to be rebuilt, so it's what it is today. Now, a really cool story about the fortress and the area of the island. This island has been conquered by many nations: the French, the English, the Turks, the Venetians. However, the Turks made multiple attempts to occupy the island. A lot of them failed, and one of the most popular ones that is still celebrated to this day in the island today is August 11th, because in August in Greece it's always sunny, hot weather. And so one August 11th morning, the Ottoman Empire came to attack and take over this part of the island. All of a sudden it started pouring rain. It was a really bad storm, and it sunk the ships of the Ottoman Empire, and it was a failed attempt, and they didn't conquer the island, and that's considered a miracle. And to this day, August 11th, they celebrate the saint that is celebrated on that day because they believe he was the one
Save the day.
to save the day. Yeah, there you go. Now we're gonna walk around the city a little more and see what happens. I also want to say, like, the center has such a big open area where kids are playing, and the main square, and there's honestly like bigger open areas than this, even like from Athens, and it's really beautiful.
Very well kept too.
Yeah, it is very well kept. And what was the thing that you were saying earlier?
Oh, if you look at the colors of the old town, I think just specifically in the old town, there's very strict regulations within the archaeology department and the government, where if you have a business or any type of building in the center and you're going to be building it, painting it, you have to choose from a certain list of colors, and if you don't follow the list, you'll be fined.
So we're right by the town and we're feeling so hot, so we think we're just gonna take a dip before we go for dinner. Look at this little cove, can you blame us? Sounds refreshing and a good workout. Another amazing trip is coming to an end. We do not want to leave. We're on the ferry right now leaving, so it's too late to change any plans. We were debating about it.
It's been a really lovely time with a lot of really crazy experiences, and with that being said, I'm sad to leave, but I'm also happy to go home and sleep and just process everything that just happened the last 4 days.
Cool the grapes.
Our camera woman's falling asleep right now behind the camera.